Previously on the starting lineup.
This morning with us, good morning, we've got Ashtyn Danley in studio with us. We'll introduce her real quick before we hit the first break of the show. At Miss Ashtyn, this is Rosie. Sorry, she's harmless. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am tremendous. So we were just mentioning this before you got here. The World Series final starts today, and you guys obviously disappointed that you didn't make it to the game and to the series, but it's okay because we have had a tremendous amount of success building champions right here on this show. This is Chewy, by the way, if you don't know him.
Hi.
Hi.
I've seen you on TV.
You know, yeah. You know Ricky, of course. But I just want to say we've had a lot of people come in, and sure enough, they end up going on to some really great things. You've already accomplished some great things. So we're going to try and schlup off some of that onto you, and you can take it back down to Florida State, to Tallahassee. But I really appreciate you taking some time for us this morning. What are you doing with your time right now over the summer? How is your off season kind of getting started?
Well, I just got a new puppy on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So I'm basically have a child.
Yeah.
And just resting, hanging out with family.
Yeah.
And then in July I'll start back with softball, but just working out and stuff right now.
So you get basically like a month off to kind of come see family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're still probably like working out and doing all that, your normal off season on your own stuff. What kind of puppy did you get?
I got a micro mini doodle.
A micro mini doodle. So it's smaller than just a regular mini doodle.
Yeah.
It's micro.
He's tiny, but he's cute.
You gotta be careful. Don't bring it around here. Chewy will step on it.
Yeah.
So what made you get the dog?
Well, my roommate transferred out.
Okay.
And I have a 4-bedroom house, and so my dad was like, if you don't get a roommate, then you can get a dog.
Oh.
So I got a dog.
So you stopped taking applications and you got a dog.
Got
there
a dog,
you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. What is it a boy dog or a girl
It's a
dog?
boy.
What did you name it?
Teddy.
Teddy, the micro mini doodle.
Nice.
All right, I like it. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back in just a moment, we'll get into things with Miss Ashtyn Danley in studio with us. Before we do that, I want to let you guys know that over there at Backstage Pawn, just around the corner, if you guys have gotten that tax refund back, then you can go over there and you can check out their inventory. It is always changing. But even if you haven't, they have financing and layaway available. And if you're like me and you got, varmints around your station or your property or whatever the case is, and you need to pick up some help with that, they can help you with that. Certainly. Go over there and stop in a Backstage Pawn. And, again, they've got all kinds of knives. We talked about their knife inventory in the past, firearms, ammo, great prices on all of that stuff. We'll be back on the other side with Ashtyn Danley in studio. This is the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Ricky Tips, Chewy, and Miss Ashtyn Danley in studio with us this morning. You can get involved in the show. You can text the show, 931-305-5611. If you've got questions for Miss Ashtyn, you can drop them in on the FMO Facebook feed, which you can pull up the show and watch us in studio over on Facebook at Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester. And I'm excited.
I want to put you on the spot real quick.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? You've seen both of them play this year?
Yeah. I'm going to go with Texas Tech, but I think they'll have to go to a game 3. But I'm going to choose Tech.
Too much offense?
I think so, and I think the fuel of them losing to them last year, and I think they're seeing the ball well, and Nyjah and Caitlin Terry are complimenting each other really well. I mean, I think Texas will give them all they want because they definitely stepped it up yesterday.
I thought Tennessee. I can't believe Tennessee blew both of them.
Yeah, I knew once they lost the first one, it was going to be hard because you can't let a team like that get momentum, and then you had Tegan rested. So she was ready, and I think that's the best she's pitched in a few games that I've watched. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tech.
It felt the same way as well with Alabama. Alabama dropped that first game, and you're like, there is almost no way. I couldn't see them winning that second game, especially the way that Nyjah was pitching. Yeah. And when they put her out there, you just kind of had the feeling after the first couple innings, you're like, oh boy, this is going to be tough. Yeah. All right, so for people that maybe don't know you, because not everybody in town is as familiar with you as Ricky Tips, and there are a lot of folks who are new to the area and things like that. But tell us a little bit about growing up, playing for Huntland, and how you got involved in softball in the first place.
Yeah, so when I was younger, my older sister Maddie, she played softball, and obviously my parents put me in t-ball or rec ball, or I don't know, whatever you play when you're that young. I don't remember, but my sister started pitching lessons, and I wanted to be just like her, so then I went to pitching lessons. So I would pitch and she would catch me, and then whenever she would pitch, I would catch her. So I just wanted to do everything that she wanted to do. And then I played for a little team called Explosion, little local team. A lot of girls from Winchester area, some people from Huntland I think played. Just kind of played locally. I always played up when I was younger, so I always played with my sister and then the older girls. And then I finally went and played for a new coach, but at the time I'd only played for my dad. And I was like, I don't want to go. I want to play for you, So I was probably maybe 7 then, I think. Maybe, 7. And so I played for a coach named Tommy Bain out of Eagleville. And his daughter actually is a freshman at Arkansas, Brindley Bain.
Okay.
So I played with her. And
she's only a freshman?
Yeah.
Wow.
Freshman, yeah. So played with them until I think it was my first year of 10U. And then my dad ended up taking over. So then I played with my dad on. And then he also coached my middle school team. So I went to North for middle school.
Yeah.
And then my sister went to Huntland in high school, and my parents obviously wanted me to go to Huntland. So went to Huntland. I was a little scared. I was like, I feel like I'm on an island. I don't know anybody. All my friends went to FC. Ended up being the best decision of my life, such a good high school experience. And then at first I was just super nervous to play at Huntland because everyone knew me as she's committed to Florida State. Oh, she's supposed to never get out. Or, never let anyone hit off of her. Just expectations of people. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can, with all of that, weight on me. And ended up being so good for me, and learned that, just not everybody's going to have the same drive as you, but that's okay because we ended up going to states. Right. And we competed. We, gave it a run. So, yeah, Huntland taught me a lot. And I also played basketball in Huntland.
Talk about committing as a 7th grader.
Well, and I was going to ask you, at what point did you realize, because you were very young, but at what point did you realize that softball might take you beyond high school?
Yeah, I will say I'm grateful for my dad. He was really realistic with me on, you have the ability to go. You have the ability to be great. And so once that was kind of instilled in me, that was obviously it was, I think everyone's dream is to, play in college and play the best of the best. But he was really realistic with me and was like, you're good enough to play there. And at the time, my dream schools were Tennessee and Oklahoma. That's where I wanted to go. And just went there, and it just didn't really feel like home at the time. And me as a 7th grader, you're like, how do you even know that? But I don't know. I just felt it. And so actually I picked up with a team in Florida, and she actually went to Florida State and played softball. So she was an alumni. And at the time it was whenever my dad, because he was my travel ball coach, wanted to get connections with, all the schools just for us girls to kind of get seen, I guess. And she was like, do me a favor, they have a little Monday night clinic. So it was hour and a half. You can do pitching and hitting. And just go, and it was to let my dad kind of get to know them a little bit. And I mean, obviously good to get me on that stage as well. And I went, and I literally fell in love with it. Yeah. And
I think that's interesting because you talk about the expectation of kind of going to Franklin County versus Huntland, you ended up at Huntland where you ended up feeling more at home in Huntland, and then you kind of did the same thing. The expectation might be that you'd go to Tennessee and play for the Vols. They had a tremendous softball rich history as well, and you mentioned Oklahoma, and then you end up at Florida State where it just feels more like home. So I think that's a interesting dynamic, and you mentioned playing down there at Huntland. We've talked in the past. They've got such a unique but proud tradition down there. How did playing in Huntland, you feel like, shape you in a unique way to now you're on such a huge stage versus playing in such a small town? What do you think you learned from playing in a small town like that helps you now?
Yeah, I think like the importance of community and like who you're around. I mean, I can remember like playing at Huntland and like there was no seats.
Right.
I mean, we ended up putting a deck in the outfield. The deck would be full, cars would be parked everywhere. Like it was just super cool just to see kind of softball grow, I guess, in Huntland. Obviously, I don't know how it was before I got there, but just seeing everyone just wanting to support, and maybe people that had never even watched softball might have came,
Yeah.
So, and then I just remember when we went to state, like people were taking off work and they came up there,
Yeah.
we people were lined up and down, like even when we got into Winchester, like people had like state bound, like they were just so supportive.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of taught me just like to have fun, because I think all my life you play travel ball and everything's so competitive, it's, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And high school ball, you don't have to do it, like it's fun. Obviously you want to win and you
Right.
want to compete, but I was out there playing with my best friends and still some of my best friends today. And obviously I have best friends on my Florida State team, but, it's just super fun and then I think too, just to see the growth of the other girls. Cause when you surround yourself with people that want to be better, it makes you want to be better.
Right.
And I think the same way, like with me in basketball, I loved basketball,
Yeah.
but I wasn't great at it. I didn't work at it, but I did my best that I could when I was in. But there were girls on my team that worked at it and went on to play in college, and it made me want to be really good for them because I knew how bad they wanted it.
Right.
And I feel like on the softball field, we all grew as a team because of how there was a few girls that really, really wanted it, and it made everyone else better.
Well, we talked about that in the past around here about how culture can spread even from sport to sport, because you have a lot of kids who they'll play softball, they'll play basketball, they'll play these different sports. Here at Franklin County, there's a lot of girls that play on the soccer team, right? And they went on and they won the state championship in soccer, and then they kind of carry that mentality over into some of the other sports that they play. But how important would you say culture is to an athletic program or to a team?
I think it's the most, if not the most important, but 100%, I think, like the most important thing. I mean, culture, we live off of that at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our like daily talk, we talk about it all the time. But I think culture is just like how you represent a team. We always say, like, you're not playing for the name that's on the back of the jersey, you're playing for the name that's on the front. And I think if you get a bunch of girls that do that and aren't worried about themselves, and the culture just begins to shape itself.
Yeah.
And I also think it's important, whoever came before you. So the people that played at Huntland before me, like they shaped and built what Huntland is now.
Yeah.
And same thing at Florida State, like the girls that played in that program and built the program to what it is, like it wouldn't be that without them.
Yeah. You guys look like you're having so much fun. And I say you guys, but really I have started to get more and more into softball, and credit to Ricky, women's athletics more in general. I from traveling around with the basketball team to the softball stuff, I cannot believe how much fun y'all have when you play. And then, too, not just you see it on TV. If anybody's been paying attention to the Women's College World Series, name a more dramatic sport to watch, and I'll wait, because y'all have the ability. Once you get going, the momentum can change in an instant. You guys hit bombs like in the most clutch moments. It's so fun to watch. And all of these high drama moments that we look for in sports, you can find them right there. You just got to know where to look. But talk about the amount of fun that you guys have, and where does that what does that come from when you're on the field with the other girls?
I think just, when you're prepared, and obviously like at Florida State in the fall, we prep, like we have 20-hour weeks. Our fall's hard. It's hard for everybody. But when you get into season, like that's not time to figure it out then. Like you should already know what you're doing, and having fun just allows you to be loose. When you're stiff, you don't play well. Like
Right.
that's in anything,
And
know?
I always thought that it was like, if I'm having too much fun, then I'm not focused.
Yeah.
I got to be focused. But you guys, you're doing all this crazy stuff, and you're having so much fun, and you still are locked in. And I can't, like, I don't understand how that even works.
Yeah.
But it's like you play better the more fun that you're having.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a happy medium of like, okay, am I being like, is it too silly?
Right, too
like
goofy,
obviously
yeah.
like it's serious, but you can't play a game and just be standing there like, okay, like I have to be, super serious, because then it takes the fun out of it, and I think the reason that you play softball is obviously like being competitive, and when you're playing something that you love and competing, like obviously that's super fun, but
Right.
just I think the people that you surround yourself with also help. Like if you're around people that you don't really get along with, or
Yeah.
don't really love, or they don't really feel like family, then it's hard to have fun, I guess, with those people in those moments. So I definitely think having fun is, and also I think having fun keeps you loose. So if you think about it, when you're loose, you play better
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
any sport. So yeah.
What's the biggest difference between playing now at Florida State versus playing at Huntland?
Yeah, I thought that when I went into college that I would be pretty much ready for everything. I played competitively in travel ball and played a lot of girls that I play now, and even in Huntland, like played some really good competition. But you can't take a pitch off. Like it's mentally fatiguing, whereas like I think I got more like physically fatigued in like high school ball and travel
Right.
ball, just because like every single pitch, like when I'm on the mound, every single pitch has to be my best pitch. Like I can't take a pitch
Yeah,
off
if you
because
miss, they
I'm-
will make you
yeah,
pay.
yeah, I'm facing best hitters in the country, and in the box, like can't take a pitch off.
Yeah.
If I do, I'm gonna miss the one that I'm supposed to hit. Could be a game-winning catch in the outfield. You've seen how many diving catches. I think Tennessee made 2 or 3, saving diving catches. So just the importance of being in every pitch, I think that's like that was like the biggest transition to me. I remember talking to my dad, and I was like, I'm like tired, like I'm exhausted, and he's like, why are you so tired? Like, you've
Yeah.
done this your whole life, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, but it's really exhausting. But I think it's the mental part that's more fatiguing than anything, and was probably the biggest difference.
So I've got your page from the Florida State website pulled up on my phone right here, and it's got the list of honors and awards, for the last few years. It's a long list, but when we come back on the other side, I have heard that number one, I think that she's the only 2-time Owl Award winner. Is that correct?
No, she's not the only one that's won 2. She won
the
first, and she was the only one won twice in the same year.
In the same year.
Yeah.
But I also heard that your Owl Awards are some of your favorite awards that you've ever won. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but we'll talk about it on the other side. I think that the awards are going to continue to rack up for you here in this next year, and I'm really excited for what the future holds for you and for Florida State. We'll talk about it when we come back. We've got Ashtyn Danley in studio. We now have Michael Danley somewhere around here in studio as well. He's sitting in a chair behind me.
Better act right.
And yeah, I know it. And I'll hand it off to a man that knows you extremely well as well, in Ricky Tips, to ask you some questions and really kind of get down to the meat of the matter here with you again here on the starting lineup with Ashtyn Danley. It is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham, Ricky Tips, Chewy, and we are joined by Ashtyn Danley in studio this morning. And lots of comments over there on the Facebook feed there, Chewy.
That's right. Brett Crabtree jumped in talking about. He said her dad coached me in baseball and football. So I thought
That just shows how old you are, Brett.
Yeah. Megan Tips jumped in saying the old explosion days are elite, and Chalet Garner said that I agree, Meg. Andrew jumped in this morning. Megan Tips came back saying she learned how to hit bombs in the cow pasture, and then Suzanne Pittenger said, "Such a great young lady. Love watching you, Ash."
Chalet and Meg are up this early?
What are they doing?
We're watching Ashtyn on here. So again, Ashtyn Danley in studio with us, and it's a long journey from Tallahassee. You know, one of the things that gets to me though is seeing you up there on the TV, and knowing that you've got the roots right back here at home, but. When you step on the field at Florida State and you know that you're obviously representing your hometown and things like that, does it ever cross your mind? Like, are you ever thinking about, things like that? Or are you just so locked in that none of that really enters your mind? Or do you consider who and what you play for when you step on the field?
No, definitely think about, where I came from and what it's taken to get there, but we say it all the time on our team. Like sometimes we forget we're on TV. Like we're just out there like playing and having fun, and we'll do something and we're like, oh, I was on TV, So but I think just obviously like representing something bigger than myself when I'm out there. Every single game is something that I try to do, and obviously like super proud of where I came from and what this town has done, and even like Huntland and everybody. So, and then I think just everyone that supports me. I mean, Megan and Chalet like played with him at Huntland, you know, so played with Chalet at North too. But, and then obviously Megan with Explosion and everything. But so just super cool. I mean, those girls obviously like up this early, listening in. So just super grateful for this town. And I think just this year, like get on Facebook and just see people, just supporting, and just people that text them or comment on their posts. So just everyone's always supporting, and it's just means a lot, and just super grateful that, we have a town that's so supportive, because I know there's a lot of girls on my team that don't have that.
Really?
So.
All right, so here's a question for you. What would you say to someone, I've got an incoming freshman this year. It's going to be playing down at Huntland, playing ball down there and cheering. What would you tell her? What advice would you give her now as going in as a freshman in high school? Someone who's done this and now done it at a very high level.
Yeah, it goes fast. I think high school is one of the best years of your lives, and don't take it for granted. And it can be frustrating, and I think it really tells a lot about who you become, because I feel like those times in your life are super important. I mean, what is she, 14 now?
Yeah.
And she'll graduate and she'll be 18, so she'll be an adult. And I just think like just enjoy the moment, make friends, do all the things, try everything. Like don't, if you want to play soccer and you want to do cheer, like you don't have to quit. Like you can play both. I think it's really good for you, and I think it teaches you time management, and I think just being competitive and trying to be the best on the team. And I think it's just fun because you get to play with friends. Like I just think that's like super cool, and you grow up with them basically, so just embrace the moment and enjoy every moment, because it does go by fast. I'm a junior now, and I feel like I can remember.
You're a senior now.
Oh yeah, I am a senior. Yeah. And I can remember when I was a freshman at Huntland.
So speaking of being a senior, last year, your junior year, well, let's go your freshman year. You're part of a pretty touted freshman class that came into Florida State. Y'all had some really good players in there. Look at the left side of your infield. And then, when you play in the left field, I always laugh. I was like, that whole left side was one class of just stacked kids. Well, y'all had a freshman class this year that came in that was pretty touted. I mean, there's some great freshmen. Y'all played a lot of freshmen. What advice and what did y'all have to do for that? The difference in, I guess, the way when you came in your freshman year, did you learn some things that you passed on to those freshmen this year?
So we started off the year in London, which I think was really big for us, because there was 9 freshmen that came in, and we had 9 seniors graduate the year before. So basically we had a new team, because 9 new people, that's a lot of people to get to know. And so London was really good for us, and just being able to kind of know each other off the softball field, because I think you can play with someone, but you can't really get down to, what you need to talk about or how you deal with the situation if you don't know who they are as a person. And so I think we really tried to figure that out and build the relationship off the field before we got on the field and build the relationships. But my freshman year, we had a lot of really good upperclassmen, that kind of took us under their wing. Obviously, they had played at some really pretty high stages. They had been to the World Series, all the things. And so they were just really important, and made sure that we kind of understood what it took to get there. And I think that now as a junior this past year and the freshmen coming in, we tried to share our experiences with them, so that they kind of had a feel. Obviously, you don't know what it's like until you're out there on the field, but tried to share as much as we could. And obviously me being a pitcher, Bella Dimitrievich she had some really big moments for us this year as a pitcher. And just I tried to pour into her as much as I could. Just knowing what I went through freshman year on the mound was pretty difficult for me, but just try to learn from that and help her as much as I could, and just try to give the freshmen like that home feeling so they could be themselves. I think sometimes it hurts freshmen when they come in, and if you have upperclassmen that are, mean or belittle them because they're a freshman, like they're not going to grow. And I think Florida State and I think our upperclassmen did a really good job of making them feel like not freshmen, so they were able to speak their mind. They were able to come out of their shell and be who they are without feeling judged or the fear of, whatever it may be, because us as girls, we tend to have a little bit more emotion and scared of like, oh, what is she going to think of me type of thing. So we did a really good job of just making sure that they felt at home and welcomed, and, they were just as important as the seniors last year. So I think that was really big for them, and just the ability for them to grow. And I mean, you saw, if you watched, how much they impacted our team this past year. So they're going to be huge for us in the next few years.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
had some really key plays. They had to play.
Yeah.
You had, what, 3 that started, I think?
Well, Anna and McKenna, freshman All-Americans.
Yeah. And Marin.
Yeah.
What?
Haley.
I'd say Hine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Let me ask this. So you got a chance to see, and obviously you had a tremendous season. You're an All-American as well. But you got a chance to witness Issa have one of the greatest seasons like ever. And I'm sure that there's a level of competitive nature between the two of you guys, and the level of success that you're both having at the plate and on the field. Obviously, you want to work together, but just speak to witnessing that firsthand, because there were times where watching it, you're like, at some point in time, she's got to cool off. At some point in time, this has got to, and she just continued to do things that were amazing all year long. What was that like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, I think we talked about it. Like, you've never seen a player do that before. Like, going 16 for 16. Like, that's insane,
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, just props to her. She came in the fall and just, she wanted to be great. She wanted to be consistent, and she worked her butt off. And obviously, like, that showed in season when it needed to. Not even like that, but, like, defensively, she had no errors in regular season. Like, that's crazy, so
As a shortstop,
and she gets a lot of balls. So just the competitor that she is just super fun to watch, and just the level of wanting to make others better and always smiling. Like, she's always like that. She's like, when we talk about having fun, like, she's always having fun.
Yeah.
Like, she's always smiling. She's always dancing. Like, whatever she needs to do to just go out there and compete, like, she's going to do it. And we joke, but our coaches actually told us that we didn't need to hit as much as we did this year, so we would be in the cages before a game, like, we'd go early and we'd hit for an hour,
Right.
So just the level of preparation. And I think that also comes with, being an upperclassman now, we kind of have a feel for it, and then you figure out, oh, this works for me. And then you see it obviously play in a game, and just the ability and what she was able to do. But I think what makes her awesome is she can bunt. Like, she literally can lay down bunt. She's safe. And then you bring her up, and then she's going to hit a ball 70 mile an hour past your head.
Yeah.
So we joke all the time, like, oh, I'd hate to be a third baseman when she's playing, because, you don't know. Is she going to bunt it? Is she going to hit it past you?
Yeah.
Knock your teeth out? So, but yeah, she had an incredible season, and just super cool to see everything that she did. And just
when she was on the streak, is it like, baseball players are very superstitious? Did you guys all stop talking to her or something? Or how did that go?
Honestly, I don't know. So we were in Coastal Carolina, and I remember she went 6 for 6 in a one game.
Yeah.
And that was like, no one ever done that before.
Yeah.
At Florida State. And then I think after that, we were kind of like, holy crap. Because I think, like, you play the game and you get in the moment, and you're not really like, oh,
Don't really
she's
think
been on
about
base
it.
every single time. And then, you hear that and you're like, whoa, like, that's crazy. Like, she was 6 for 6. And then, then the next time it's like, okay, then she got another hit. And then now she's another hit. And then I don't think we really knew how close she was, because our coaches didn't tell her.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted it to be like, oh, you're really close to breaking the record. So, yeah, we just did our thing. She did her thing. And
Yeah.
Hey,
she
speaking
just
of records, you got something you and only one other person have. 3 home runs in a game and the winning win. How'd that feel?
It was surreal. Definitely didn't think that.
What'd you eat that morning?
I think my normal breakfast. Yeah, I don't know, but we had played them. Obviously, it was against Stetson, and they were the one that put us in the losers bracket on Friday. And so at that point, I was just trying to do whatever I could for the team and just hit the ball hard. And obviously, it ended up rewarding me and just laid it all out there for the team and ended up getting the win. And yeah, it was super cool.
The third home run, it was just a straight line.
Yeah.
That was a stark
Yeah,
stroke.
I didn't know it was going to go over. I was shocked for sure. But I hit it good. I hit it hard. And good things happen when you do that. So.
Yeah, the stuff I texted your dad during that game, we cannot read on air.
Well, we had mentioned the awards that you have won, obviously racking up the accolades, and the Owl Awards, you know, Ricky, obviously a big part of that. He got to witness you firsthand, you know, throughout the years. When you look back on your time here, winning those awards, and you know, I don't want to say that's really where it all started, because you've had such a high level of success for so long. But talk about what they meant to you, being recognized by your hometown, by somebody that your family is close to, and how you kind of carry those with you. And like we talked about, there's some of your favorite awards that you've got.
Yeah, that was my senior year, right? The first time. I just remember, obviously, like them talking about doing the Owl Awards, and I was like, wow, like that's super cool just to get, you know, everyone in the county involved. I feel like sometimes Huntland can be kind of by themselves, or, you know, not really left out, but they are, we are kind of down there by ourselves. And I just think it was super cool to just have every athlete in Franklin County together, and then just being able to just recognize, you know, the hard work that's put in. And being down, I mean, I didn't realize how many, like, great athletes there were at FC either, you know what I mean? So just being able to recognize the hard work that's went in across the county, and then just seeing that, you know, all in front of you. But it was super cool just to be honored for the county, and then just receiving the first one. And obviously, like, I think it's grown and become a big deal. I know everyone loves it. And but yeah, it was just super cool just to be in that moment, and I guess say that I won the first one. But yeah, just super grateful for Ricky too, and just everything that he does, and trying to make the county better, and just in sports, and trying to make everybody come together. Yeah.
As far as being a D1 athlete, you know, people see the games on TV. We obviously know you from, you know, being from this area, but what are maybe some of the things that fans don't see or don't realize about being a Division I athlete?
I think just like the time that it takes. Like, it takes a lot of time, and I think people don't see, you know, what you give up when you're younger. I mean, there was so many times, like, my friends would have a sleepover, and I didn't go because I needed to practice, you know. So I think just the ability to have that control, and I think know what you want at such a young age, because I think that's what shapes you into having the work ethic now. And I think, like, my dad, like, super grateful that he wasn't like, oh, you have to practice, you have to do this, you have to do that, because I think that can sometimes, like, burn you out, because it's like, oh, I don't want to go, you know. And there's obviously times that, like, maybe you don't feel like going, or maybe you're tired or whatever, but still just showing up and going, and those are the days that you get better. And obviously, like, learning that and going through the hard. But I just think, like, time management too, like, there's a lot on your plate. And I think in college, just, I mean, you get up, you go to weights, then you have class, and then you have practice for 3 hours, and then you have to go home, and you have homework, and then you have to eat, and then you have to shower, and then you go to bed, and you do it all over again. And I just think, like, the time that it actually takes, and I think this is with every sport, obviously not just softball, but just to play, I think on any collegiate level, like, it takes time. Like, it literally takes time, and it's a choice that you have to make to do that. Because it could be so easy to be like, oh, I'll just do it later, or oh, I'll just go later, or it'll be there when I get back, but, like, it won't be, because you don't get that day back. And I think that's what I've learned a lot in college, is, like, you have 4 years, and the moment that you're not doing something, someone else is, and that's when you get past. So
yeah, well, you kind of answered my next question. Was like, what does a typical day as a player look like? But you kind of hit on that, and
Well, I have a question.
it
on that.
seems
So
like it's a
how'd
lifestyle.
that change this year? Because
Yeah.
this is the first year you've been an everyday starter.
Yeah.
Like you went from just pitching to being a two-way player this year. How'd that change?
Yeah. So in the fall, obviously, is a lot more time consuming, I feel like, than the spring. So in the fall, let's say I would have weights at 7:45, and then I had one class in the fall. It was every Wednesday, so I only had one class. I had 5 classes, but one in person.
One in person.
And so I'd go to weights, and then I'd go to class at 9:45, and then be done around 11. Go get lunch somewhere, probably Chick-fil-A, or if I had leftovers from dinner, eat it at the locker room. And then we normally do individuals, so I would have like my pitching individual for 30 minutes, and then I'd have a hitting individual for 30 minutes, and then sometimes would have defense for 30 minutes. And that was like more individual times. And then when we had practice, sometimes we would pitch. We'd have a bullpen before practice, so I'd throw for 30 minutes before practice. And then all of us just go in the cages before practice and get extra swings. So I'd get there, probably 45 minutes before practice, out on the field, hitting, and then practice for 3 hours, and then go home.
3 hours of practice there, Chewy.
2.5, 3 hours. Just depends. But
After all the 30-minute individual stuff.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't count as practice, though. That's just...
yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, there was a comment made in the Facebook feed from Megan Tips. She wants you to tell the story about getting chased after by cows. So we're going to have to hear that story at some point in time this morning. We'll be back on the other side. It is the starting lineup with Ashtyn Danley in studio this morning. You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio. I'm going to run out of music. We're talking about things in the break here. I'm getting a world-class softball education in studio.
So funny for that. Like for me, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's when because I really wasn't into softball. Didn't follow it. Didn't care about it.
Yeah.
And then we started doing. Dad was covering Franklin County sports.
Yeah.
And I was covering Huntland. So I started covering all the softball games down there, which we'd never done before. We'd not done softball or we did a few baseball games. That was it. But Dad and I talked and said, let's start doing everything. If we're going to cover something, let's not leave one of the sports out. Let's cover them all. And I knew absolutely nothing about softball. So Danley and I start sitting down together. And we start talking. As he's coaching the game, I'd put a headset on him in the dugout.
That's cool.
And we would talk not when they're at bat,
Right.
not when they're pitching because he's focused on sending pitches in. But while they're at bat, he and I would talk in the dugout on air live.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we had some fun doing that. And then he'd come out. Sometimes he'd come, if I couldn't get right next to the dugout, he'd come out and sit next to me under the press box or by the press box while they're at bat, and we'd run through some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned softball.
Yeah.
Was talking to him. And then I just fell in love with the game. I started traveling. I went to California, watched her play. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I went to Mexico last year and watched them play.
Some
of my favorite vacations here lately have been going to watch softball games.
And if you hadn't had a chance to watch any of the Women's College World Series, I recommend that you do so. You just got to be careful, though, because, and Michael just mentioned this in the break, it will ruin baseball for you because it is so entertaining and it is so fast-paced and it's so fun to watch.
You're not blowing 3 hours.
No, and they not only do they play at such an awesome level. We mentioned the clutch hitting and some of the things that they're doing and the skill level and things like that. But again, it's hard to not find yourself sitting there smiling when you're watching because they're having so much fun. And so it is. It's Mike Edmondson says, Ashtyn made me a huge softball fan. Now I watch every game. I am going to watch her in the College World Series.
That's another one that's traveled to see her play.
That was my high school basketball coach.
Well, so we got to hit the top of the hour here. When we come back, I need you to tell us all the cow story. I don't know what that involves, but Megan mentioned it in the comments section, and we got to hear that story when we come back. We got Ashtyn Danley in studio with us. It is the starting lineup, hour number 2, coming up on the other side on ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Chewy. We've got the humpback swamp donkey Ricky Tips in studio with us, as well as Ashtyn Danley, All-American Florida State softball great, as well as Huntland grad. And Miss Ashtyn, before we get into the cow story, your father mentioned your first appearance in the Garnet and Gold at Florida State, and he said that it was a situation he's never kind of seen you in before. But talk about what he's referring to.
Yeah, we were. I went out and pitched, and I was so nervous. I don't know if I don't even remember actually.
You
if
blacked
I threw
out.
a strike. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't really remember what went on. I just remember feeling like I was really pumped up. My coach came out, and I remember my dad asking me after the game, like, "What did coach just say to you?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know what she said. I have no idea. I don't know where I was, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely an out of body experience. Couldn't find the strike zone." And I was like, I hope this is not what my college career is going to look like,
Yeah.
because that's going to be rough. But just nerves and everything, but obviously got to get it out of the way. So after that, it took me a few games, but definitely a lot better. But yeah, that was definitely an experience that I had never felt before.
Yeah.
Well, injuries kind of changed your freshman year. Like you weren't expecting to pitch as much as you did your freshman year, and then the injury bug bit the pitching staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you ended up throwing a lot your freshman year.
Yeah, we had 2 senior upperclassmen. One of them got hurt her foot, I'm pretty sure, and then the other one ended up breaking her rib. And
Yeah.
so she was in and out of the season a little bit. She had to like break if it was like flaring up or whatever, and then she ended up completely like snapping it
Ooh.
towards the end of the season. So yeah, definitely a lot more. And I make a joke, like I felt like I was drowning like my whole freshman year. Like
Yeah.
it was just like constantly, but definitely I think my freshman year helped me to shape who I am today and kind of where I'm at today. I don't think if I had to go through all of that and just the amount of times I had to figure out how to, just get through stuff. And even when it didn't feel good, like I didn't have another choice. Like I
Right.
was throwing. I think that has allowed me to be where I am at today because of, what I went through freshman year. Because if I hadn't gone through those, then maybe I'm going through it now and I'm
Right.
a junior versus, having all that experience freshman year.
So what sticks out in your head? You 3 years there at Florida State now. Like, what game or play like sticks out the most for you?
I will say my freshman year, we beat Auburn in our regional to go to super regional. And I just remember, obviously, like, we had lost some games that we shouldn't have lost. And that was kind of like my I did it moment. I was like, holy crap, like, I can do this type of thing. That was like the first time that I honestly didn't feel like I was drowning.
Right.
But I say like that game is, I just like remember that feeling and I can like still like see it happen. Was something that I feel like I'll never forget just because of how emotional and up and down my freshman year on the mound was. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's like really the only one that like really just like sticks in there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear this cow story. And I don't know. Do you exactly know what they're referring to? Is this something
yeah.
that okay?
Yeah.
So Megan Tips posted in the FMO Facebook feed. Please get her to tell the story about her getting chased after by cows. All right, the floor is yours.
So at Huntland, there is a cow pasture behind the softball field in left field.
Yeah.
So when you take BP, if you hit it,
Yeah,
oppo,
as you
I'm a
probably
lefty. Yeah. So I hit a few balls out in the cow pasture,
Yeah.
and obviously you'd have to go get them because you can't leave them out there.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I went to get it. I had to like climb under the fence, and it was like a good ways out there, and there was a cow like not too far away from me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Like
Yeah.
but he wasn't looking at me. He was turned around. So I get like almost to the ball, and he like turns around and looks at me, and I was like, oh crap. And he kind of like bucked up a little bit, and like, you know how like a dog will kind of like act like they're gonna get you? Like
Yeah.
he did that to me. And I grabbed the ball and I took off. I was so scared, but he didn't get me, thankfully. But I didn't know cows did that. But yeah, I thought my life was over at that point. But
They learned she had a gear that we'd never seen before.
yeah, I ran really fast because I was like,
Oh, that's a headline that I would not have wanted. I mean, local softball star gets maimed by cow.
yeah, yeah.
Only in Huntland.
Yeah. Well,
Literally.
All right. So, obviously, and we kind of mentioned this, the season came to a disappointing end for y'all. How much motivation is that as you start to, and I know you're still kind of in reset mode and you haven't locked back in and that type of thing. But when you consider coming up short of your goals this year, from a team perspective, how much has that kind of motivated you guys heading into this offseason?
Yeah, we just kind of talked after the game, like, we got to use this to fuel us. I mean, my junior class, we've came up short 3 years. And obviously this past year we're a lot shorter than what, anyone thought we were going to be. But just like the feeling of not going when I feel like we had a really, really good chance this year to go, just kind of sucked. And we were like, we need to feel it. We don't need to just move on and go on about, the summer. And, had some really good conversations. And I just remember, like, the first week home, I was like, Dad, I'm just sad. Like, I'm sad. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go to the gym. I just want to sit here. And obviously softball was on, and which sucks. He was like, oh, we should have been there, But, it happens. And we kind of just said maybe, like, there was a reason we didn't. Maybe there was something bigger that we didn't see that we didn't make it,
right.
And just I think – obviously, like, our freshmen, they didn't know what this feeling was. They'd never been in it. Obviously, everyone knows, like, they hate to lose. But, like, knowing that your season is over, like, they'd never felt that before.
Right.
And I think this one hurt a little bit more this year just because we were a lot shorter than we've ever been. Like, our junior class, like, we'd never lost a regional.
Yeah.
So just knowing that feeling, and obviously, like, we don't want to, like, we said in the locker room, like, we don't want to feel this again. Like, none of us want to feel like this again. And so just I think, like, the fall, like, it's going to be hard, but, we don't want to feel like it again. So we got to get after it, and we got to learn, and we got to grow. And, I mean, we were young. Like, we had my class, and obviously we had a few sophomores that were in the lineup a little bit, but, it was mainly juniors and freshmen,
Right.
So we had a lot of freshmen and a lot of big situations that they had never been in. And I think, like, next year, they were obviously not playing like freshmen at the end of the year because they were, played 60 games by
right.
the end of the year. So, they were in it, but a lot of first maybe that came up. And I think, like, next year we're going to be way better because of this loss, but also just fueled to not ever want to experience that.
Yeah, certainly. Sure. And you guys have a lot of talent on your roster. In today's kind of college athletic landscape, NIL money and other things like that. Is there concern about, like, girls leaving or moving programs or anything like that? Or do you guys not really think about that or talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 girls transfer out this year, which some of them for that, they wanted, better opportunities, and another just maybe wasn't happy, just wanted to, change up a little bit. But definitely, I think we're a team that, is built off of family and built off of, our culture and who we are as people. And I don't feel like it's as much as, some of the other teams that are, like, chasing the money and chasing the NIL things. But I also think, too, it's like, it's getting bigger in softball. Like, you hear, Nyjah from Texas Tech, like, $1 million deal. Like, super cool that, that's making it to softball. But I definitely think, like, there is some money in it, and there's some good money, and I think could be, like, life-changing money, if the right person wants you. But I think then that kind of, you have to make a decision at that point, But, yeah, I think our team, like, everyone's really happy, and they love it there, and I think that's just what you get when you go somewhere that, it feels like home, It doesn't really matter. Like, you love it, so you're going to stay, and you're happy. And I think I talked about it a lot. I think as girls, like, we want to be somewhere where we feel like is home, and I feel like sometimes guys they don't care, like, oh, I'm going to get offered so much money, like, I'm going to go. I don't care if I don't like the guys. I don't care if I like the coach. I can just be like, whatever, But I don't think that our nature is that. Like, our nature, we want to be with people that are like us. We want to be with people that, we feel loved by, and, family. Well, I mean, I think most girls do, not all of them, I guess, but that's definitely how I am. And I know a lot of girls at Florida State are like that too. So just the ability to just love where you are, I think, is important. And I think that is kind of going away a little bit in softball. Like, I think it's getting a little bit I'm not happy. Okay, let me go get money, or let me go do
Right.
this. Let me go do this. Kind of how we saw football a little bit there
Yeah.
for a while. I guess it's still going on, but yeah.
Well, I think that it's kind of reflective in the way that y'all have fun together on the field and kind of that family atmosphere. When you look around the college softball landscape, is there a player right now that you kind of look at and you're just impressed by, or somebody that's like your favorite player to watch? Because that seems to be a weird dynamic to me. Like you're one of the best players in all of college softball, but there's got to be other girls out there that you're like, wow, she's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I would probably say, like we said, Jordy Ball,
Okay.
Jordy Fromm now, but she's a two-way player, like best two-way player in the country. I just think it's rare to be a two-way. Like, you don't have a lot of people that can do both. I think, like, it's okay, cool. Like, you're a really good pitcher, but like you can't hit. You know, you don't know how to swing a bat, or you're a really good hitter, but like you could never pitch.
Right.
You know, so I also think like pitching in softball, like not everyone can do it. I know our pitching coach will be like, yeah, sometimes they'll put like in baseball, they'll put like the shortstop in to throw a few innings.
Right,
But like
right.
you could never do that in softball
Yeah.
unless they are literally a pitcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just super competitive, Jordy, and just loves her team. I think like her story that she has in softball is super cool. She went to Oklahoma for 2 years, won 2 national championships, moved back home to Nebraska, where she's from,
Yeah.
and got a lot of girls to follow her, got a lot of girls to commit to Nebraska, and kind of just like changed that program from, you know, someone that, you know, won a few games and competed to now they're at the World Series,
Yeah.
you know? So I think her story is super cool, and just I think what she represents on, like, it's more than softball, like her community and the people that she surrounded herself with, and she wanted to like play for her home, you
Yeah.
know? And I
Yeah.
think
That's cool.
watching their games, I have a friend, Rosie, she plays for Oklahoma State. They actually played them in the super regional, and she was talking to me about how their fan base, like they were so loud. Like she was like, I've never played in other than like the World Series, but
Right.
she had never been to another field that it was like that
Intense.
you know. They were in the game all the time, and I think that's just super cool that, you know, because of her and, you know, maybe six other people that she brought in, or, you know, were like, oh, Jordy's going, like, I want to play with her, and just what they made the community there, like I think that's like super cool.
Very cool.
Outside of Tallahassee, what's your favorite stadium you've been to?
We played at Virginia in the ACC championship tournament, and it was really pretty. Really nice field. I'm trying to think outside of it. Oklahoma Love Field, I played there my freshman year. It was a little overwhelming. Obviously, I was a freshman, and that was whenever they had the 4-peat team. So Oklahoma won the World Series 4 straight years in a row.
Yeah.
And the last year that they won it was my freshman year, and we
Yeah.
played them in the Super Regional at their new field.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was beautiful for sure, and nice field, nice. I mean, just super cool to see that in softball, and just knowing that like that. I guess that's possible, and people can, you know, build to that. But yeah, I would say I like Virginia and the ACC. Obviously, I think our field is like top tier at Florida State, but I think everyone thinks that when they're at home. And then I think
Oh, y'all
Oklahoma's
have
was
really
pretty.
nice facilities.
Yeah.
Like I like going to Florida State and watching games.
I have to go down there for
You
a
should.
game next year.
It's beautiful
This
down
has
there.
got to happen. All right, let's get a quick break in here. When we come back, we will continue. We've got more comments in the FMO Facebook feed. Ashtyn Danley in studio with us here on the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham alongside Chewy, Ricky Tips, and Ashtyn Danley in studio. And I gotta say, I'm rocking my Huntland gear this morning now, courtesy of Fincham Sportswear. And
Big Al made a good hat right there.
Ricky got hooked up with a Huntland one yesterday, and they are so comfortable.
I'm telling you, yeah, they are comfortable. Like they feel
Every-
just really good.
Every time I put one on, I'm like, this is my new favorite hat. It's with every one of them. But this one right here, this is like the Huntland, the blackout one. It's really sweet.
I like in the white one you got there.
Yeah.
I like how inside of it has the hornets
Right.
in the webbing.
Yeah, it's in the details, man. The
Yeah.
attention in the details for people. I don't know, you can't see it, it's real small, but there's little hornets on the inside there on the ribbon. All right, so Ashtyn Danley in studio with us, taking some time this summer, hitting a reset button a little bit. She got a new puppy, Teddy. So where did Teddy come from? Is that just what you came up with? Or?
Yeah, I saw a name on TikTok, and then I think he just looks like a little teddy bear, so I named him Teddy.
Little Teddy Ruxpin. That's what he is. All right, so how are you going to manage a dog with all your responsibilities with the whole softball thing? I mean,
Sounds like Danley's got a grandpup.
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Hopefully he's well and potty trained by the time I go back at the end of August, but
Hopefully.
yeah. He sleeps in his kennel all night,
There you
which
go.
is good. He doesn't
Yeah.
like being in there during the daytime, and I don't like when he's in there because he cries. I don't like
Yeah.
that he cries. But, yeah, he'll just keep me company down there, and I'll have to let him out every now and then.
So, real quick, every year y'all do jerseys, like to honor someone, and your first year you did Taylor. Tell me about that, because that was really emotional. I remember watching the little video y'all did of that, and that kind of got me to tear jerk a little bit there.
Yeah.
So tell me about that some.
Taylor, she's my older sister. She's 20. She'll be 25 in June. Well, June 27th, I guess. She has cerebral palsy, and she's just a big. Honestly, I think she's more popular than I am at Florida State at this point. Everyone loves her, but yeah, she's like my biggest fan, and we do Players Weekend every year, and Coach actually started it. And just gives you a reason to just play for, like I said, playing for something bigger earlier, but actually representing the name on the back of your jersey this time. So some people, I did my grandparents this past year, and some people do their grandparents, or, maybe a coach that they played for that maybe had passed away, or, just something that, that they play for, something meaningful for them. So my freshman year, I chose Taylor. And she wears the jersey to the game, actually, so we get to keep it, and I gave it to her. But, yeah, she's just awesome, and if you know her, you love her, and never met a stranger. And yeah, so she's...
So is this the sister that you modeled yourself after, your game
No,
after?
she's...
Or is this a different
I have
sister?
2 siblings.
Okay.
Yeah, so Maddie was the one that played softball.
Okay.
So she actually caught me at Huntland. So when I pitched, she caught. And then Taylor is... So Maddie is 22. She'll be 23 this November.
Okay.
And then Taylor will be 25.
Okay.
So she's the oldest.
Maddie's the newest teacher at Rock Creek Elementary
And she
School.
is.
Really?
She is a teacher now. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
congratulations.
teaching young ones.
Very cool.
Kindergarten
ones.
teacher.
So if
Chewy, she can deal with you.
you get a kid who has a teacher who's got a bunch of Florida State stuff all over their classroom, is probably your older sister then.
There you go. Yep, that's her.
All right, so you guys are obviously, like we said, taking a break. You got a new dog. Now, back to the dog here for a quick question. When you talk about having a pup, I would assume that you'd get a pup that could actually carry around a softball. This dog is so small, it's not even going to be able to return you to balls.
No, he would rather chew on like your finger, or he loves your face. He doesn't really like toys right now, so we're trying to teach him that he needs to chew on toys and not, humans. But yeah, we can get him a little 11-inch ball,
There you go.
a little one. Maybe have to get a soft.
Don't teach him to chew a softball.
That's true too.
That's the worst thing you want to learn to chew on.
Tear up.
True.
Oh man.
I don't think he'll ever tear anything up. He's little.
Well, just don't leave your glove on
I know.
sitting out.
No,
That would
yeah.
be, we turn on the TV and there you are, standing in the circle and you got
Shoestrings. Yeah.
Hey, how's that
Chewed
work?
up.
The gear y'all get. I was curious about that.
Yeah, so every year we get to customize a glove. I'm
cool.
fortunate that I get to customize 2 gloves because I have to have a pitching glove and an outfield glove. And there's a few other girls on our team that have maybe like an infield glove and an outfield glove, or a first baseman's mitt and then an outfield glove. And then you just customize it. We have certain, like we can't get like a pink glove or something like crazy, but they want us to keep them in Florida State colors. And you can literally do whatever you want with it.
Can you do the blue?
Yeah, I actually had turquoise in my glove this past year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so they were talking about road trips. What's your favorite road trip destination that you guys have ever taken?
I would say Mexico was up there. It
about to
was
say.
fun. Yeah, we stayed like in a little resort.
Yeah.
The fields weren't the greatest, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was still fun. We played OSU, so we got some good competition in, and I think Clearwater is always fun. It's like travel ball. It reminds me of travel ball, like on steroids a little bit. One year, my freshman year, actually, when we played Syracuse, we actually stayed up there and went to Niagara Falls.
Oh, neat.
And we got to go onto the Canadian side. So I actually been to Canada. I guess
cool.
like the edge of it. And then we ended up just going to the ACC tournament was at Duke. So then we just like drove down to Duke.
Right.
But when we go on these long trips, they at least try to like maybe let us go sightseeing. Like when we went to Stanford this past year, we went to see the redwoods, the redwood forest.
That's cool.
So yeah, they try to, maybe get a little history or stuff like that.
Mexico's nice because you can wake up and look out the balcony and you see the whales in the bay right there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty.
What's your pregame meal?
I normally eat like a Firehouse sub or maybe like do you know what kava is?
No.
Like Chipotle,
Okay.
but it's like healthier version.
Okay.
Was that the place we ate at after the game?
Kava?
Yeah.
No, Cercheros.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cercheros.
So we're gonna wrap things up with we're gonna send you back to Teddy here in just a moment because I gotta get my weekly mayor segment in here. But we're gonna do a new thing. You're gonna be the first person to ever do this.
Okay.
These are 5 questions that we're gonna start asking any guests that we have on a show going forward. And in fact, at some point in time, Ricky, I want you to answer these questions. We're going to probably have the mayor answer these questions at some point, but you are the very first. Just like the Owl Award, you're going to be the very first person to do this. So we're going to call this the Fast 5. This is just 5 questions, and first thing that comes to your mind. What was your very first job?
I have never had a job.
That's an answer. Softball, she says.
Yeah.
What is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
I like to read.
Really?
Yes.
Do you get to do a lot of reading then on the road trips and travel and things like that?
I try to. Yeah,
Very
not
cool.
really a lot during school because got schoolwork. but
Yeah. What kind of stuff do you like to read?
Like rom-com fiction.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Probably like pasta.
Really?
Yeah.
Any particular kind?
I like vodka pasta
Ooh.
with chicken.
Yeah. If you had a free Saturday, no responsibilities, what would you be doing?
I'd probably lay at the pool or maybe go to the lake if my dad would keep our boat. And just hang out with friends and family.
And what is one piece of advice that you'd give your 18-year-old self? Which is only a few years ago.
Yeah. Just to enjoy the moment and embrace everything and just have fun, and it goes by fast. So enjoy these moments in your life right now. Don't grow up.
Well, good stuff. You survived it. Good job by you.
Yes,
The
thank
very
you.
first Fast 5 from Ashtyn Danley. All right. Well, we'll let you get back into it. Enjoy the softball World Series. Next year, we hope to see you there.
Yes,
we
me
hope to
too.
be having this conversation a lot later in the off season, so to speak. And enjoy your new puppy.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. All right, that is Ashtyn Danley joining us this morning on the starting lineup again here on ESPN Radio Winchester. We'll be back on the other side with Mayor Chris Guess. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.